Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this week's Wealth Creation Show. I'm Richard Cook, and today we are going to talk about property upgrades and improvements that you can make to increase your income. Now, last week I touched on the subject of tenancies running a bit longer and properties having longer standing tenants and things. And I think tenancies are running longer, and with stays of like 4 and more years becoming increasingly common, tenants have higher expectations around the place they are willing to call their home. So it's important to get it right, whether you're doing it at the refurb or even throughout that tenancy, to keep things updated and obviously things in good condition. Now this tenancy lengths increasing obviously spells good news for landlords, and because they have higher expectations, that comes with willingness to pay higher rent from tenants if properties are obviously finished to a better standard. Uh, More than that, the right improvements will also increase the value of your property, giving you that precious equity to finance and expand your portfolio. But the question is, what improvements should you be making at the initial refurb stage or throughout that tenancy? There's a fine balance to strike between doing too little and spending too much, um, and spending where it actually counts as well. The key is to concentrate on contemporary timeless homes that are durable and popular to give you a wide, long-lasting appeal with minimal maintenance and repairs. Um, so when we're out on viewings at properties and things, we see exactly what attracts people and excites them about new homes, and or their next home even, and that's no doubt the that investing in presentation is rewarding in the quality of tenants and the rent that you'll ultimately achieve thereafter. Um, so firstly, I think from the second you open the door of a property, the condition of the walls and things will be staring at viewers in the face and creating their first and immediate impressions of the property and ultimately how the property is looked after by the landlord or the agent. Scuffed walls and dingy looking paintwork, despite being entirely cosmetic, have a deeply negative impact on viewers. And on the other hand, a fresh coat of paint works wonders in any room. We did speak last week about the different levels of whether you do a full refurb or whether you just do obviously general decoration to make the place look good. So yeah, it's about finding that right balance. But yeah, a fresh coat of paint on the walls, paint on woodwork, just elevates everything in the room and around it, and makes it and makes remarkably good value way to improve your property. Um, Although brilliant white is undeniably bright and great reflector of light, some tenants find it a bit cold. So it's also a magnet for marks and things in a rental property. So choose like an off-white colour. I think obviously like we spoke about before, like greys and things are in here, or like a classic neutral, to give the walls a welcoming feeling. And obviously, just plain white maybe obviously a lot easier kept, a lot less easier to keep than what these soft greys and things will be as well. With a matte white on the ceiling, obviously to, like I say, light and make the room open up. And maybe a white satin or eggshell or something for woodworks and things. So it's just that different contrast. But yeah, paint is a really important one. Whether that's just the colour or whether it's just to freshen up the existing paint that's there in a property, but it definitely makes all the difference. You would be amazed at what a lick of paint can actually do in a property for its presentation and also for attracting long-term tenants who are going to be happy in the property. So also you'll be pleased to know that when it comes to things like kitchens and things, not every kitchen needs totally ripped out. I mean, an upgrade to a kitchen doesn't mean taking the whole thing out and starting again. Um, the the replacement of front doors and things can be quite an easy fix to really lift a kitchen without the expense of actually upgrading the whole kitchen by taking it out and replacing it. So you can replace doors and handles and splashbacks and worktops for instant improvement. So look carefully at whether the whole thing really needs to go or not. Remember, if you're doing refurbs or if you're in between tenancies and wanting to upgrade to attract a better tenant, it's all about gauging whether it's the cost involved and whether things actually need to be done to a certain level or expense, or whether they could be remedied or fixed relatively less expensive. And a kitchen is a really good one to obviously attract a good tenant, but if you don't need to rip it all out and start all over again, don't, because it can be costly. Um, Whether you're choosing a total refit or replacing selected elements, follow the rules for an enduring, impressive, and low maintenance kitchen. Um, Remember, things need to be hard wearing and stand the test of times, especially if you're going to have long standing tenants, and especially if your target audience is a family. They are going to obviously use the kitchen quite a lot, as opposed to maybe somebody that's a single person, or maybe a couple that are working professional that work all the time and don't really use the kitchen as much. So weigh up those factors as well. But kitchen is a really good one to improve the property, increase value, and attract good tenants. But just always be aware of the cost involved for doing that, and whether you need to really have an excessive expense on a kitchen. Bathroom areas as well. Tenants regularly ask us if they can test water pressure and things when they're doing viewings. So a powerful shower in any home, I think, whether it's a family, whether it's people that are working, and no one's got a lot of time anymore. So make sure that obviously you have quite a powerful thermostatic shower in place. That is a really big point that's is touched on quite a lot by potential tenants with us, or people that are in properties and having difficulty with a shower could put them off and make them want to move elsewhere. And I know you think that sounds a bit drastic, but if people are day in, day out having issues with something as simple as a shower, it could start to take their toll. And then if there are other small issues that are adding to that, then of course that's things that will again mount up and disrupt them as a tenant and make them feel uncomfortable in the property. So make sure all these simple things are sorted. So yeah, a powerful thermostatic shower in the bathroom is a big plus for families and people who are working and things as well. As I say, time is of the essence, and people just want to get up, have a quick shower, and out in the mornings and things, and get on with their day. Dribbling hoses and fluctuating temperatures and things like that on showers just no longer cut it, and it can really be detrimental to a tenancy. Um, People who want an invigorating shower experience at the start of the day will look for that. So put them in a good mood every morning, and rather than looking for a new place to live, improve the place that they've got for them, and I can guarantee that they will stay longer. Um, if your bathroom needs replacing, a plain white modern suite is always the way to go. Warmed by maybe grey floor tilings and things, and wall tiles will provide a timeless, contemporary style with universal appeal. I mean, and anything really goes with those colour schemes. So don't skimp on the taps. Either you'll see by replacing parts, if you go for the cheapest options, the cost of repairs will eliminate your initial saving. I know it's so easy to think. I mean, I'm not saying to go and buy things that are excessively expensive. You do get a lot of mid-range things which are quite cost effective and good quality. Don't buy cheap. They will not stand the test of time. You will end up having expense on repairs and upkeep throughout, and it just cancels out your initial saving anyway. So um, choose metal finishes like chrome, brushed steel, and nickel. Um, they never go out of style, and they're the easiest ones to maintain. Um, and That's, I think, obviously you need to think ahead. I think always when you're picking fixtures and fittings and things, are they going to stand the test of time? Are they going to need repaired anytime soon? Um, and take that into consideration, as well as obviously the cost. Don't just go for cheap straight away, because you might find the repercussions of that will have an effect on you further down the line. Also, storage is vital to avoid a lot of clutter and obviously products and things all piling up in a bathroom. So it's good to have some sort of storage in there when you're doing the renovation or an upgrade of a bathroom. Take that into consideration about putting some sort of storage in there. Things in a bathroom can obviously gather up and collect dust, and the ideal solution is maybe like a vanity unit with a cupboard or a drawer below the wash basin is quite popular, or a mirror cabinet above on the wall. it's always good to have some sort of storage provided there for tenants. Some of the big things, the main things that we always get asked in viewings and people inquiring about properties is, what's the storage like? Always find off-street parking, excuse me, storage and things like that. These are all like main points that they ask about. So storage is up there. And don't forget about it in areas like the bathroom as well. It could be easily fixed by just putting in like one, like as I say, a wall-mounted unit or an under sink vanity. Um, Areas like the garden, obviously, um, a modern and inviting new, like low maintenance garden is obviously quite popular now. Um, and that's even more so since obviously things like COVID and things, people embraced their gardens and people moved properties to find something with a lot more outside space. So if you've got that outside space, utilize it properly. Um, you don't need to recreate the Chelsea flower show or anything like that. Keep it simple and manageable, um, and you will be able to win your fans by presenting an overwhelming display of obviously areas which are utilized, able to be utilized by the tenant, depending on whether it be a seating area or somewhere to enjoy the sun. Um, but they don't want something that's going to take a lot of upkeep. Low maintenance is the way to go. No matter how much people enjoy being outdoors, not every tenant is an expert gardener, so don't leave them with a lot of shrubs and bushes and things to maintain, because it can become difficult. A patio or a deck area with a paved or a timber surface provides a good year-round usable space that's easy to keep clean and looks way better than just raw cement or anything as well. Paired with an exterior lighting, you're effectively giving your tenants an outdoor room, to be fair, and in the better weather here, obviously. But day and night, um, they can enjoy that, for which they'll be happy to pay a little bit extra in rent as well, thus giving you a bigger return. Um, Add a few pots and planted with spring and summer flowers and things if you like. They're always quite a nice touch. And your tenants will then have a colourful seasonal space to enjoy, where they only need to have like maybe some low maintenance, add water to the flowers that are already there in pots and things. That's quite a good thing. But full on flower beds and things are really quite high maintenance for people, and a lot of people don't have the time to do gardening. Um, so yeah, the outside space is quite important. So if you've got it, make the most of it and keep it low maintenance and quite contemporary and things as well. So that's always a good point. Um, Floors in a property. I think they take quite a lot of battering in a property, so you need to really think about. I mean, firstly, think about what kind of tenants you're going to have. You're going to have a family in there, 4 or 5 people. Then think about high traffic areas and whether you should be putting carpets or maybe even put a bit of vinyl in if it's front door. Think of wet feet and things as well. I mean, everybody walks over floors. Furniture sits on it, moves about on it. Bags, suitcases, bikes, strollers, pets, they all take their toll on the flooring in a property. So it's a thing to consider when you're doing um, the refurb or upgrade of a property. Now, while carpets are soft to walk on and they can become warm and accumulate, obviously, lines and dust and um, imprints from along the bottom of the door and furnishings and things. So cheap laminate can look good when it's fitted, but it often peels at the edges and things. So I think if you're going to put laminate down, I'm not a big fan in rental properties, but if you are going to look for a hardwood topped one, if you are going to do that, because they are prone to lift and chip at the joins and things as well um, after a while of obviously a lot of foot traffic and things as well. All this can leave your property looking unkept and uninviting after a while if you've got these kind of worn areas. So, and that will in turn negatively impact on your rent. So yeah, take that into consideration, definitely. As I say, engineered wood floors in living space and halls and bedrooms does look smart. It's hard wearing, and it can make your property look bigger when laid throughout. Um, with a top surface of real wood, so the hardwood top, they're a lot more authentic and luxurious looking, and an alternative to the your basic cheap laminate flooring. Although you do get mid-range ones, like I say, which will stand a lot longer time than just your basic ones. Um, but they do come with a price tag, the dearer ones. So I think the mid-range ones, if you really want to do laminate, then that's the way to go. Um, they are also they are a lot longer lasting, and they can be sanded back as well if they've got the hardwood top. So obviously after several years, if they're looking a bit obviously worn and things, you could sand back the initial layer and then have them stained again and things. So potentially you could get quite a lot of use out of them, and giving you many years of service for your initial cost. Um, I think probably like a medium oak as a classic safe choice. Um, that would probably go with most people's furniture, and it looks great with pretty much anything. And your tenant could then accessorise with their own choice of like rugs and underfoot comfort things, and on top of that. And then if your property is particularly bright, you could add some drama with like maybe darker wood or walnut, but be careful with that. Um, I think that's obviously you need to know obviously kind of if you've got an eye for like obviously style and light and things like that, and you know it's the right decision, then fair enough to do that. But be careful with quite dark colours and things. You don't want to be drawing a room in and making it look quite obviously drawn in and dark. Pale woods like birch and maple reflect the light, but they can be more susceptible to marks and things as well, and showing dirt and dust in the joins, which again doesn't look great, and it could have an impact on what kind of rent you could look to achieve for a property. So yeah, they're all quite good tips about obviously what to do when you are renovating or upgrading. I think coming back to the kitchen's such an important area, and I think like flat fronted drawers and things do always have a sleek, clean uh, finish and lines, and are the easiest to maintain with maybe like white or grey, and then people are easily allowed to accessorise from there. As I say, with the kitchen, don't always rip it out. Maybe just obviously upgrade the existing units. Sometimes the carcass of a unit is solid and quite fine, and obviously the layout of where the actual units are, then look to just do the worktops and the fronts. Um, Again, the same with like bathrooms and things. Brushed steel handles and modern classics will complement any style and colour that obviously you or your tenant chooses to go with that. Worktops, I think, in composite or high quality laminate look quite smart and are relatively low maintenance as well. So they are probably your way to go. Quartz and granite add quite a luxury finish to kitchens, but you will find that they are a lot higher in price and kind of high end. So, like I say, kind of stick to the mid range. Solid wood worktops look great, but they do need looking after in a kitchen. So that will take some looking after, which your tenant might not be prepared to do, and you might not always be able to do throughout a tenancy. So to save that issue, I would always go for probably the higher quality laminate or possibly composite is probably your best bet. Um, these hardwood, real wood worktops need things like oiling and obviously upkeep, and it could make it less practical, really. Um, the presence of quality appliances in the kitchen as well attracts more scrutiny than it's used than you would really want. A dishwasher is no longer seen as a luxury in a property. People are quite familiar with dishwashers being there, and they're becoming quite a norm. Um, an old-fashioned electric hot plate makes cooking seem like a chore. Um, so that would be something to consider. Obviously, what kind of hob you put in. Generally, I would probably recommend electric fan-assisted oven and a gas hob. And a washing machine with a small load capacity means continual washing. So if you're going to be putting a washing machine in a property, always go for a higher load kilogram allowance on the washing machine. And if you're going to be buying appliances, you always make sure that they're A plus rated, especially with the current impact of the cost of living and things at the moment as well, and the cost of bills. So yeah, again, obviously not overly expensive appliances if you're going to put them in, but be sure to get quite good quality mid-range, at least ones that are A plus rated, and I would avoid electric hobs. Um, and if you've got space to put a dishwasher in, and you are deciding to provide appliances, that is always a big plus point. I mean, that will make the tenants want to obviously pay slightly more if they've got quite good appliances, and especially if you're putting in extras like a dishwasher and things as well. Um, yeah, I think investing in well-respected and reliable mid-range brands, and that's things like Bosch and AEG and Neff and things, and it's a visible demonstration of your commitment to quality as well throughout the tenancy, whether that be your appliances that you're providing, or whether it's the level of finish and things as well. They make living in a property more enjoyable, and tenants do love to see them there if they're being provided, especially things like the dishwasher and that, like I said. You'll also have a long-lasting appliance that needs less maintenance and ongoing expenditure, which means less hassle all round. And I think, like I say, remember the A plus rated, especially with utility bills and things at the moment, are something that everybody takes into consideration, along with EPC ratings and things as well. So any appliances in there, A plus rated, definitely is something that I would recommend. I was going to run through, actually, I've got what we do when we get a property that's a potential investment in property, or if we are recommending it to somebody as a potential investment in property. We go and do a walk around there and look at what the property needs to bring it to a level where it will attract a good tenant, and then also we will make recommendations of what needs done. So this one, I've got a video here actually. Let's see if we could get this one in. Here we go. This is a property of an apartment in the Bonnygate and Cooper. So obviously outside area here, and this is a shared area, but ample space there to get maybe a whirligig drying area in there. We'll go in through the front door for this one. It's not actually too bad, but there's some upgrading that can be done throughout this one. So if we go straight in, obviously, we would be doing carpets. You would do carpets throughout this, probably a nice grey, colour. Obviously, I think like beige and things is kind of out now, so it's good to have that base colour. And I think also hard wearing, durable carpets as well. This would need new pendant there, light fittings would be sorted, nice big mirrored wardrobe there. Also shower room, which looks quite good. I would need a new fan in there. Probably put a heated towel rail in there. At the moment, it only has that wall-mounted heater. So yeah, heated towel rail would go in there. Probably just leave that there anyway as additional, but the heated towel rail would be good in there. Nice tiles on the floor there, they would stay. Hardwired smoke alarms will need to go in throughout. There's one in the hall, but there's not one in this lounge area in the bedroom either, so they'll need to go in. These fixtures, the light switches and things, these brass things that I would put probably chrome or brushed steel, just to give it that more contemporary feeling. Of course, the walls will need painted as well. They're all white at the moment, but I don't know if you can see in it, but they do have some marks on them in the when you're actually there. So yeah, a good paint, like I say, an off white, or maybe a light grey. Again, a new pendant in there. Kitchen. Here we go with the kitchen. So this one will need a new kitchen. That's the space for your fridge, freezer there. But the units in here aren't that great. You could possibly get away with obviously keeping the carcasses of that kitchen, but for the size of it and cost-wise, I'd probably put a new one in. Boiler, I think's fine in there. That's some good additional storage. So I mean, like I say, storage is always an important thing. Worktops and things need to come out of there. The boiler, obviously, I think the boiler's fine. It's a combi. It's probably got a few years in it, but it might need replaced. The tank is obsolete now, so that's obviously no longer in use. So I would take that out again. Obviously, creating more storage in the kitchen. This is just a one-bedroom apartment, so the kitchen's not anything great in size. So any storage you could make by removing things like the tank out the cupboard is good. That electric, I mean, that's been upgraded sometime in the last few years at least, possibly, but it might still not meet the RCD regulations for the electrics. But again, get your electrician out to look at that properly, and they will advise you. So yeah, kitchen back out into the lounge. Doors and things. The doors looks okay. I think maybe if you're doing the switches and things to chrome and thing, I would put door handles. I think that was a gold door handle, so I'd probably put them to chrome or brushed steel or things. Again, this room, nice bright room here. Just checking the radiators and things. So yeah, that's what is that nice tiled flooring. That's quite good. I think he's looking at the moment. Obviously, if there was to be, again, that's the brass. But if there was to be a heated towel rail on that side, um, yeah. So that's a nice wee one bed apartment. We've done one recently on the Bonning Gate as well, which was fairly similar to that. It was a top floor apartment, and we done the renovation on that. We got a tenant from pre-launch, pre-portal, on social media, and we got the rent for that one was 475 a month, which is really good for a one bedroom apartment. Even in areas like Cooper, which is popular, we got that. We got a tenant in there. He is up here as a student. I'm going to be in there for a few years at least. He's really happy in that. We done similar to what you see there. We went in, went around. Obviously, that one got a new kitchen, new shower room, and carpets and decorated and things. Really modern, contemporary look, greys and whites. I think Jim's probably spoke about that previous shows. I think he used it as an example. The before and then the finished version. Obviously, this one here has still got all the work to be completed. But it would be definitely the same rinse and repeat what we done on the previous one as well, or anybody that was picking this one up would do the similar things. But that's what to do if you are looking to do the refurb is go and have a look, walk around and think about all these points when you're walking around the property, and then come away and do obviously the costing for that, and take that into consideration when you're doing a purchase and things as well. Like obviously this is what I'm going to purchase the property for potentially, and this is what I'm going to have to put in to turn the property around, make it compliant, make it appealing to people on the market, and attract a good tenant at a good rent level for a long period of time, and that ultimately gives you quite a good level of passive income for a fixed period of time. I mean, obviously we can't fix tenancy agreements, but you could do your best to ensure that tenants are happy and comfortable in a property and want to stay longer. I mean, your agent or yourself, if you're doing it, can establish with potential tenants how long they potentially look to stay in a property. But if you could make them comfortable and feel happy in a property, then you're generally going to be looking about 2 to 3, possibly even 4 years is about the average now for tenancies, as they are becoming longer and longer as it becomes a more lifestyle choice. And if you could make their lifestyle a lot easier and make them feel a lot better in the property by doing all these upgrades to a certain level and thinking of all these things that will make their life easier in the property, then that is the way to do it. Obviously, if you need any pointers on what areas to look at and how best to budget or price up for making improvements or completing a refurb project, then by all means speak to myself, message me direct, drop something in the comments here. I'll come back to you, and I'd be happy to discuss that. Also, if you are looking for any contractors that can do work like that, we have contractors who can do like full refurbs or just individual works and things as well. I'm happy to do referrals through to any contractors that someday might be in need of. I know that contractors are quite busy at the moment and hard to kind of nail down. So I am happy to help people try and find contractors and things if they are in the middle of making improvements or refurbing a property at the moment as part of their buy-to-let portfolio. You can see, obviously, like I say, what the kind of process that we follow. Obviously, just kind of giving you a wee glimpse there with that video. But again, if there is property that you're potentially maybe looking at on the market that you've not currently purchased or you're going to view, the best way to obviously walk around the property and make sure that you're taking everything into consideration when you do that, then please speak to me. I know obviously there isn't always going to be, it isn't always plain sailing. I mean, you do a refurb and things, there will be maybe things that come up that are potentially not being considered, things that could arise that maybe need replaced or rectified that wasn't in your initial plan. So always have some sort of contingency that could um, that could be fallen back on for the event of something like that cropping up. Because ultimately, it probably will happen, and it's always good to be prepared um, for any instances like that when you are doing any kind of refurb or upgrade project on a rental property. And just it makes good sense and good business sense as obviously you're running a buy to let portfolio as a business, that you have that backup anyway for any kind of instances of works and things that are unexpected, because it does always happen. It will come at some point in time, regardless if you have one property or two properties or you have a big portfolio of several. So always be prepared. But yeah, I'm happy to take any questions from people if they have things that they want to ask about refurbing a property, or what kind of level they need to do it to, or what things to avoid, and what things should be in place to make tenants feel more comfortable and ultimately increase the longevity of their tenancy. That, in essence, obviously gives you the most successful portfolio and generates as much income without any void periods, and it gives you quite a good occupancy rate, which is ultimately how we look at the health of a portfolio, whether you've got quite a high occupancy rate with good rent levels and happy tenants. So yeah, that's about the basis of what I was going to cover today. Obviously, just to go on the back of obviously what we spoke about last night, last week, about obviously buying, revamping, renting, and then repeating the process. So the actual renovation process or revamping process. Um, there is a logical way to do that, and a lot of main things to look at and ways to do it cost effectively, but still have a really good result and attract a really good tenant. So if anybody has any questions, guys, like I say, please drop them in the comments. Message me direct, and I will come back to you and have a chat. I'm happy to do that with anybody, whether you are currently building a portfolio with Fife Properties, or if you are a landlord on your own and doing that and doing so and need some pointers. I'm always happy to share any experiences and knowledge I have and help people on their buy to let journey. So I would like to thank you all for listening this afternoon. Thanks, Perry. Good afternoon. Thanks for jumping in. But yeah, I'd like to thank everybody for watching, listening. Like I say, comments are always open, and I am on social media. My name's Richard Cook. Please message me direct for any further info or questions you want to ask. And thanks very much for listening, guys. Speak to you later.